In this video, I'm going to show you how to install dental style crown molding on my mantle themed entertainment center the old school way. My name is Zach, and this is a ZD Rhodes Carpentry video.
Welcome back, viewers. From Forest to Finishes, if it's made of wood, we show you how to do it on this channel. When you're doing build-up crown molding like this, it's a good idea to try different mock-ups and pick a style you like. I did not like the first one I made, so I modified it to look like this one. And actually, in our finished crown, the dental blocks will be recessed. The first thing we need to do is fabricate all these different pieces. In the interest of time, I'm not going to explain how I make all of these pieces in detail. If you'd like me to do videos on making custom pieces of trim, please comment below and let me know that. I like making these custom sanding blocks. You can make them into any shape and size you want with any grit you want, and they're great for actually sanding wood down efficiently. If you'd like to see a video on how to make them, please comment that below too.
Now it's time for the next step. We need to lay out where those pieces go on the entertainment center. So to do that, we need to check the height and the width of this crown molding. And to check that, you simply make a square cut on the miter saw. Get your framing square, which I have right here. And you line the top part, which is our new angle cut. Get that flat on the top, and the bottom is not going to rest flat. That's the old angle. We wanted a 45-degree angle, so we need to have that sitting there at a 45-degree angle, and we should achieve that by pushing the top flat. And it looks to me like it's 1 inch and 7/8 wide, or projection. It's sticking out 1 7/8 of an inch off the wall, and it looks like it comes down about the same, but a little light. So we need those measurements to lay out for the other pieces on the entertainment center.
So again, I'm not going to explain all the details of how I figure out these measurements. First thing we're going to do, though, is lay out where the top piece goes on the top of the crown molding. And then we're going to start installing the top piece. I can't preach this enough, but you have to be extremely accurate with all these cuts and all these measurements and the layout and everything. When you're layering build-up crown molding like this, it has to be accurate for it all to work out in the end. Next, I'm going to use a gauge block here that I cut to actually go off of that top piece to mark where my bottom piece needs to go. That way I can have a consistent reveal the whole way around. once we have our bottom piece installed the whole way around the entertainment center, we will start back priming that bottom piece and avoid where the dental block will be installed so we can get a good glue joint there. Now I made this little mock-up for you guys just to see what's going on here. This is the right way, this is the right orientation for crown molding, and this is upside down. So you don't want to install it that way. And this is how it's going to come in at the store when you go and buy it. That's what you're going to buy, is a piece that looks like that. But what you're actually installing is this. This is what you have to keep in mind, is you're really installing a piece that looks like that. It just doesn't, that back is plowed out of it to save material. Next, we're going to look at how to cut crown molding. And what I'm doing here is making another gauge block to set my crown stops equally. All I have to do is set them to that block, and they're both set at the same distance. Once you got those set right, set the same, 2 thumbs up. So this is our crown. Now, you always cut crown upside down, period. No matter what, you just cut it upside down. I'd be happy to explain why in another video. Again, comment that below if it's something you want to see. But for now, we're just going to start installing this. I like to make sure that the miters will actually fit before I shoot anything down. A good carpenter always has cedar shivs. In order to get this miter nice and tight, I actually have to shim the back of this crown out. I'm using my 18 gauge brad nails preferably, but when I need to use the pin nailer, 23 gauge pin nailer, I will use that with no hesitation. These little guys are miter clamps that help squeeze the miter joint together while the glue sets up. They're not necessary, but they help for longevity of the joint. I also like to shoot 23 gauge pin nails through all my miters. Once again, I think we're going overkill here on miter quality, but this is the centerpiece of my living room. Up to this point, everything has been a miter joint. The long center crown piece is actually utilizing a double cope, which means it's a cope joint on both ends. And again, I can go over that in another video if you'd like, on how to do a good cope joints. As you can see, they're pretty tight. Now we're moving on to actually making the dental blocks in their individual selves. And this was honestly the most challenging part of this whole project. Each block was 3/8 by 1/2 and 1/2 inch. And by the time I was done cutting all of their precious dadoed out hearts, I wanted to rip my hair out. Instead of ripping my hair out, I got to look forward to installing every single one of them. Now, I'm going to start with these corner blocks, and in this case, I have to chisel out a mortise in the wood for them to rest in. This is when we get old school. Typically, dental today like this is installed in a prefabricated long piece where the blocks are already there. Old school, they didn't have the tech to make a piece of wood like that. So what they would have done is cut out individual blocks and nailed them on separately. At least I highly doubt that they would have chiseled every block into a piece of wood. The reason I'm starting in the corners is so that I can take a measurement and lay out my blocks in between evenly. Which brings me to my next point, why I chose the old school way of nailing each block individually instead of buying a prefabricated dental block board. The advantage of going with single blocks individually like this is that I have control over the spacing of the blocks. Therefore, I can make them work in any circumstance. The disadvantage of doing individual blocks is that it takes forever. But as a finished carpenter, I was going for perfection. As for prefabbed dental boards you can get at Lowe's or Home Depot, you are subjected to the spacing of the blocks provided. So to install these blocks correctly, you want to put a ton of glue behind them so that the glue is oozing out of the sides when you press it up. Take a paper towel along with you and wipe the excess away. If you don't, it will dry there and it is going to be very difficult to get it out.
The old school way.
Between creating and installing all the dental blocks, it probably took me a total of an 8-hour workday. And by the end of it, I was questioning whether or not the old school way was the right way to go. But, as they say, good things come to those who wait.
$116 dental blocks. 116.
Now we're going to finish it up by priming all the blocks. And I started out doing this with an artist's paintbrush to get in to the actual dental blocks and actually prime them, and I got kind of impatient with that. So I have another trick up my sleeve to get them. The old spray primer trick.
Alright guys, I want to show you this. I think it looks pretty cool. Hey, what's up? Alright, take a look. Yeah, for you doubters, I did the back. What's next? This time, you're gonna tell me in the comments section below what you want to see next time on my channel. I have a whole house full of different projects to do, anything carpentry related, you let me know. Otherwise, I guess it'll be a surprise. Thanks for watching. Remember, from forest to finishes, if it's made of wood, we show you how to do it on this channel. Thank you. Have a great week. Bye.